Good morning. All right, so today is January 17th. What do we have here for the S&P 500? So we've been trading in this range, this big range right here, trying to break out of this range as we speak. We're holding, it looks like it wants to break the 21-day exponential moving average, which is here at 65-ish, 47, 65-ish. Overnight inventory is about 95% short. So we need to look for an early correction of inventory towards yesterday's close, which is up here at 47.99-ish. If we don't get that, that will be a tell of who's in control of the auction. Usually when in cases like this, when we're open outside the range, we see an initial push up, at least to towards the previous day's low, to close the gap. This is a true gap, right? And then we usually get some kind of correction into here. The thing today is that we might get this gap close and we might find more sellers at yesterday's low. This area there's a lot of volume here, so it's not gonna be that easy to just push into this 4800 level. But that that's the ultimate magnet here, because it's the area with most volume. There's another big volume level at 47.92 that could provide some resistance, and you can see that there's a low volume area here at the 20-day moving average. So we might just get there and then bounce back below it and make another attempt to break this. Now, if we are not able to close the gap and move higher when we open, then I'm gonna be looking for this range that goes all the way down here, and the first target will be a 56, 55, which is where this high volume node is. There's a little bit of single prints still left from this day up here when we had this rally, that will likely clean up. And then there's this untested point of control from this day right here, and it coincides with the monthly pivot point. So in the case that we cannot hold these levels, the 47.64-ish, I would look for a trouble here, right? Because when you when you come to a level, if we test a high volume node, if we don't bounce back up and we in this support, this area that's supporting right now becomes the resistance, and then we are able to get below this high volume node, then it is likely that we travel to the other side of the range. So I'm looking for a test of this. If this doesn't hold, so basically 64 doesn't hold, target 47.55. 47.55 doesn't hold, I would target initially this one, the 47.45, and then 47.36. If this doesn't hold, then there's a little bit of a high volume node here at 47.30, and then here's where we should see some buyers step in to defend. But if not, then we're gonna clean this little bit of a poor structure from the FOMC, the scene of the crime when they made the announcement. This is, I always mark when we have news like that they leave, that we had a big area where we never revisit. I always mark it because eventually it gets revisited. And this area then we start getting into a lot of poor structure here, and there's a lot of room to move down to clean up all this stuff. I don't know if that's gonna happen today. I mean, today is VIX expiration, so things could get interesting. I'm not saying that we're gonna clean all this up, but if sellers start gaining momentum, we could see a test of the of this the 50-day moving average. It's 100 points, but I mean, it's not unheard of. But so far in this market, we've been yeah, exactly. We need to watch volume. We need to watch how how the selling happens, right? Is it like a slow drip down, or is it accelerating with momentum and just selling and nobody's buying, right? I'll be talking through it during the day, but okay, it seems like right now we're bouncing a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go to okay, I'm out of my longs here that I took earlier. Okay, let's go through Nasdaq. Where are you, Nasdaq? NQ, all right. So NQ, we have this, and this is why I took that long trade, because we have this very low volume zone area, and when you have areas like this, you always get, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time you get reactions here, because traders, they're not interested in trading down here. You can see like how the volume fades here. I don't know if you can see it in this chart. Well, actually you can see it here. Hold on. You can hear it. You can see it in here, like how the volume fades here. So when you see a volume that fades, that's an indication that it could be the end of the auction, and we're gonna auction to the other side where the value is, right? Like traders usually, the market always wants to trade where there's volume, because if there's no volume, there's nobody to trade with. You want to trade, it's always going to be attracted to the spots where there's the most volume. So that's why I mark those areas with low volume and look for reversals. Like when I see that it's kind of slowing down, low volume, I look for some indication of buyer stepping in, and then try to find especially when we're in a rotation, right? Like you can see that this is a balanced market. We're not like trending right now. Now ES, you can see here that there's an area where like traders say, okay, you know what? We might go lower, right? Like we're like starting trading, putting some volume below here. Now you gotta watch this 70 area to see if we come back above it, or we stay below it, and then this could be acting as the next resistance. You see how now we're like coming down a little bit. Anyway, I went off a tangent here, but we're looking at Nasdaq. Okay, so we have this range that we've been trading at. We have this area that's acting as support as of now. Similar to ES, we are opening outside range, and the first thing that we're gonna be looking for is a correction of inventory towards the previous day's low, which is at 16,856, and then I want to be looking at this area to see if we go through it. If we go through it, then look for this high volume node at 16,900, and then same thing here, right? Like this is going to act as resistance at first, and then if we get through it, so basically if we get above 16,920, I'm going to target 16,960, which has been the magnet through all these days. We've been coming down to this level over and over and over. Now if if we lose this and we are not able to move above this 20-day moving average, and we go through this low volume area, we start filling this up, I will be looking for this 16,780, and then some buyers here, some support here, that if it gets broken, then we're gonna likely test 16,715-ish, 16,690, and then eventually this untested point of control at 16,660. Nasdaq has this this lower range, which actually this would be a good target, 16,580, right? When you zoom out, you can see it better. And then, you know, if sellers get aggressive, then, you know, this will be the next support that I'll be looking for, like to test the 50-day moving averages. Not saying that it will happen today, but you know that these are your references. This is, you know, go level to level and see what happens at each level. Do the buyers step up, or do we get a continuation of the move? Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's pretty much it. Remember, VIX expiration, things could get interesting. And make sure you manage your risk properly. And good luck.